Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of the OppHERtunity Podcast. We got Kylie Briscoe, freshman coming into Oklahoma Sooners soccer. She told me this is her dream school, so we're going to learn a little bit about Kylie and what her soccer goals are. Thanks for taking some time out of your day. I know you from Georgia, just getting to Oklahoma, and so I know you got a lot going on, so we appreciate it. Why don't you give us a little bit about your soccer background and why and how Oklahoma was a dream school and you achieved it?
Yeah. So, my dad is retired military, so I kind of just moved all over. I lived in Georgia for the longest, but I was born in Arkansas, and all my family lives in Oklahoma, so I grew up like a diehard Oklahoma fan. From the beginning, you could never tell me anything bad about this place. I would back it for forever, and so just I always knew that like this was the place, and throughout my recruiting process I was trying to keep an open mind, and then once they called I was like I can't say no. But yeah, so I started out in a small club in Columbus, Georgia, and then my dad retired from the military and I joined SSA. I spent a few years there. At the ECNL level we weren't very good, so we were kind of looking like, okay, I want to do this seriously. I want to take this to the next level. I need to be on a team that's going to put me in the eye of like recruiters. So we decided that the next best move for me would be to join Concord Fire. So I spent, I think, 4 years there. I had 2 different coaches, and it was great. It was definitely like I definitely came in from the bottom and I had to work my way up. But, I feel like it makes everything more worth it. The fact that, I wasn't the best all the time and I did have to work for a lot of what I have now. But I'm grateful for the experiences that I had. And so now I'm here and I'm excited to get started.
Nice. So, you know, you're a defender. You've had to work for a lot and kind of grind your way through, especially relocating at any level is probably difficult, especially when people aren't as familiar with you, you're not as familiar with people. How does that kind of play into your playing style a little bit? Just kind of like I'm sure you've got a little bit of a grit to you being a center back and, you know, keeping clean sheets alive for your goalkeeper behind you. So how's that kind of upbringing influence your positional play?
Yeah, so I actually didn't start out as a center back. I was a left wing. Funny because I'm right footed, but I was like very much like, oh, I'm an attacking player. I'm going to be the next Alex Morgan. And then I moved up and they were like, hey, you're good, but you're not that good. But you're really big, so we're going to put you on the back line and see what you can do. And, obviously I was older at that point and I couldn't have like a one on one coach tell me how to play center back. So I was like, I don't know how to do this. I feel really silly when I'm out on the field. So I YouTube Virgil van Dijk and big center backs, and I learned how to play center back off of YouTube. And so I definitely think, like I'll go in for the big tackle. I like to make runs up the middle when I can. Uh, I definitely think that like adjusting to different people and how they play, I think me changing teams so much has kind of helped my adaptability throughout the years. But I definitely I feel like to summarize me as a player, like definitely like you said, like gritty, big, you might beat me one time, but after that, I'm not gonna let that happen again. So I'm definitely not like, oh, I'm the best ever, but like I'm definitely not I'm gonna put up a fair fight for sure.
Nice. Well, you said, hey, you were on a left wing before. You want to score some goals, and then you just alluded to kind of pushing the ball up the middle from your center
Yeah.
back position. And that's one of the highlights I saw of you because I was doing my own little YouTubing and stuff too. And I think it was probably like last year or something. One of your club games. It's like take the ball pretty much 3/4 of the way up the field, and it ends up in like the upper right 90. I was like, oh dang, for a defender, like, so it makes sense, I guess, more that your background was more kind of pushing the ball forward already, which
Yeah.
is a unique thing to have, that you haven't been stuck on the, back line your entire
Yeah.
playing career, that you have a little bit more to you. So that's really awesome. One thing you kind of just said too was, hey, a lot of my playing style is adaptable because I've moved, I've played with different teams, I've played with different coaches and people and areas of the state. How do you think some of that's going to help, the translating to the college game? I think the biggest thing you hear is, adjusting to the pace of the game. What are you kind of doing mentally to, be prepared to keep up from day one?
Yeah, so I think it's kind of human to be really hard on yourself, and you're your own worst critic. And I think that, just through like personal experiences, and I think definitely coming early is going to help me out a lot too. Just first of all, getting to know the team, and because once, say I mess up, if I have 20 something girls behind me being like, you got it, get back up, I'm going to be a lot more successful than I would be if like I didn't really know them. But I definitely think that like me moving around and playing against a whole bunch of different people, and luckily for me, traveling around playing against people who are now at UNC and FSU and places like that. I'm definitely ready to be shocked by like the speed of play and the physicality. I'm expecting that to be different, but also like I feel like it's what I've been wanting. I feel like every girl that's like I want to play at the collegiate level, they're expecting that change, and that's what you want. Whenever you come to college, you want to play against harder, faster, more physical girls. So I'm trying to mentally prepare as well as I can, but I think I'm just gonna have to kind of take it day by day and just give it my best and leave everything out, and I'll be happy with that.
Nice. Well, just kind of, heading into spring ball, like you guys are going to be in here if you haven't already started. I know it's on the horizon, but sounds like you'll have some opportunity to definitely be involved and, get minutes and start adjusting. So hopefully you have a quick period of that where you can kind of just jump right in. It just sounds like
Yeah.
the mentality is, I'm built for this. This is what I've wanted to do. I'm ready to go. Um, what about when, Oklahoma was the dream school? You grew up a Sooner, basically. What other schools were looking at you, and did it even take like an official visit or anything for you to just be like, yeah, Sooner all the way? Or was you just got that call and you just knew?
So Oklahoma was actually my second to last school to contact me, like officially, like, hey, we want to visit, like, let's make this happen. I originally started off talking to the University of Kansas, and I loved it there. Just it wasn't that everything didn't line up too well. That one really hurt my heart. I was like, dang, this is recruiting, As much as you like the people, it's a business. And so that one didn't work out, and I was like, ugh, my heart is hurting. But I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna use this as motivation. There's always someone else, everything happens for a reason. I talked to Kennesaw State back home in Georgia. Great program. I knew like I needed to hold out. I was talking to Cincinnati with their old coaching staff, and I was really close to committing. And then the day that I went to commit, the coaching staff got fired.
Oh no.
The day I called Oklahoma because there was some stuff that I wanted more, and they weren't really matching me. So I called them and I was like, hey, I love you guys, but like I physically I can't do that. I'm gonna commit to Cincinnati. And the coach here at the time was like, Kylie, you know that he just got fired, right? He's like, I'm not saying that to be rude, but like he just got fired. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, hold on, I'll call you back. go look it up. Kyle Venter at the time, one of the assistant coaches, texted me. He's like, hey, so actually our head coach got fired. And I was like, oh, of course he did. That's so great. So then Cincinnati's off the list, and I'm opening up really, like, I think it was our first or second showcase. I was like, the school I wanted to go to didn't really want me that much. The school I was about to commit to, coach got fired. I was like, I need to play the best soccer of my life if I want to make this happen. And so I think it was either Arizona or Tennessee or both. I played some really, really good soccer. We played some good competition, and I finally got a call from Oklahoma that was like, hey, we want to be your friend again. And I was like, okay, I'll be your friend. And so it was between them and Ole Miss. Ole Miss came at the very, very end, and I was like, Ole Miss is really good, and you guys are sweet talking real nice, but I can't say no to OU. So I committed to OU. I think I committed in December, so I was a later commit, and trust me, I was stressing. I was like, it's getting too late. It's getting too late, because on my team, all the offensive players had already committed by then, and I was like, my mom was like, you just need to ride it out, Kylie. It's gonna be okay. I was like, okay. So I committed to OU, and then a couple of months go by. I think it was in the summer. Coach gets fired again, and I was like, "This cannot be happening." I was like, I'm not gonna leave just yet." But I did text Matt Mott, the coach at Ole Miss, and I was like, "Hey, coach here got fired. If the new coaching staff comes in and I don't think it's a fit, like, would you still be interested?" And he texts me back really dry, and he's like, I don't know. We'll see. And I was like, that's weird. That's really weird. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh, I missed my chance. And then, like, a week later, they announce on Twitter, new head coach at OU is Matt Mott. And I was like, thank goodness. So my recruiting process was definitely a roller coaster, but I just stuck it out. I was like, I know I need to be doing this. So thankfully it all worked out. The Ole Miss coaching staff came to OU, and I can breathe now.
Yeah, that is actually just pretty crazy the way that even can turn out. You hear like some ups and downs of recruiting and stuff like that, but you know, you like just got there, like you just finished and now you're here ready to go. And that's, you said last minute. I won't call it that, but that's last minute, Kylie. um yeah, that's fortunate. I think things work out the way they're supposed to happen. So it sounds like you know the class that's coming in with you, as freshmen, it seems like you guys may be working together, for the next 4 or 5 years, and
Yeah.
just with that backline, and hopefully you guys have years to grow here. But what's kind of your mindset heading in for the first, really the first time with, you have upper class players there, people who've been in the program. Have you, like, do you guys get like a mentor, or how's that look in terms of just getting acquainted to the team, the facilities, the new way of life for you?
Yeah, so we do this thing here, and it's called your soccer buddy, and everybody gets assigned to one person. And I'll say I'm lucky. I love my soccer buddy. My soccer buddy is Leo. I don't know how to say her real name. She's gonna get mad at me for that. But my soccer buddy is Leo, and basically, if you show up to practice in the wrong uniform, or if one of us messes up or isn't pulling our weight on the team, we both run, kind of as accountability. And also, like, just the older girls on the team, like Kaylee England, and like Andy Wolf and people like that, like, they're very good at communicating, like, hey guys, like, we're here today. And if you have a question and you don't want to text it in the group chat, you text them individually and they're like, oh yeah, no problem, that's totally fine. So I definitely think that it helps that everyone here's not for the most part, everyone here is friendly. And so, I mean, it's a good environment. I think just adjusting to people in the team is like gonna be the biggest thing because like it's 22 new girls, you know. Like there's three early freshmen and a couple of transfers, and you know, so we're all there's a mix of new and old, but I think just I feel like we have a pretty good support system throughout
Nice.
the team.
Yeah. I know that's important, just getting into a comfort zone. Like it if you're uncomfortable, it makes everything else kind of not feel as smooth around you. So that's an awesome support system. And the soccer buddy, you better go learn Leo's name over here real quick.
Yo, something like
Well, I'm gonna be looking it up too. So the crazy thing that you said, you're like, hey, I learned playing my position on YouTube. Is there anybody you like to watch? Do you consume a lot of watching other soccer, either NWSL or college or WSL, or do you have something that you watch that you now model your game after, now that you're like, I guess I'm not Alex Morgan. I'm learning my position from some big dudes on YouTube. But is there anybody you watch that you're like, I like that, or I like to try and implement things I see?
I don't think. I mean, obviously, like everyone's go-to center back is Van Dyke. Like, and if it isn't, then come on. Uh, I don't think that there's like a certain person, but definitely like just watching Premier League teams and teams like in the higher levels and just how they move the ball out of the back and like learning like when to send the long ball, when to not, when to go in for the tackle, when to slide tackle, just improving my soccer knowledge based off of like the the higher level teams that I'm seeing cuz obviously, you know, they got it going on. You know, they're getting paid to do it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So another clip I saw of you was definitely an aggressive slide tackle that you win the ball clean. But what's your kind of mental state where you're in a physical position, you have to be aggressive? What's your card situation like? Are you carded often? Like have you gotten a red card before? What can you keep it cool back there?
I've never gotten a red card. But there has been a hand I wouldn't say I get yellow cards often, but I'm not scared to get a yellow either. Like if someone's like, "Oh, just bite the bullet," I'll be like, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." Um, I think there's a few games where I should have gotten a red, either because you know I was really passionate and maybe shouldn't have said some things that I said, or I maybe gave a little extra at the end of a play, but you know, it's not ever personal. It's like we're here to play a game. I want that ball just as much as you do. So we're going to go at it until one of us gets it. But I get a fair amount of yellows and
Good.
maybe I should have accumulated a few reds, but I haven't. So,
That's
we're
all that really matters is we got to keep you on the pitch and not sent off out of just I don't know, the red card of like saying something. It's like, dude, we're all just talking.
yeah.
That should be totally fine. Um, where do you kind of see like women's soccer in general? Obviously now like you still have this super long career in front of you, but just the amount of younger girls that are playing the game now, the amount of teams and opportunities and tournaments and roster spots, the game is growing. Do you have any thoughts just kind of on women's college soccer as a whole and how strong teams are pretty much across the board?
Yeah, so I think it's great how big women's athletics in general, but women's soccer has grown, but I would love to see it way bigger than what it is. I think I think we have a really great opportunity, especially with this new professional league coming up to, inspire more girls. I feel like it for my generation and the people that are older than me, we have like the Brandy Chastains and the Carly Lloyds to look up to. But like, whenever you look at football, it's like, oh, I got this, and this guy. I feel like soccer, especially women's soccer, I feel like it has so much opportunity to be so big. I feel like we need to maybe spread it out, because you have some states that are really really strong and some states that aren't. Why not make all 50? I think igniting like a passion in the younger generation of like, hey, I can do this, and say they don't want to go pro, it's just something to do in high school or whatever. I think the biggest obstacle is just like, you can do it too. Just look at these people who have done it. I think women's soccer needs more strong role models. And I think we need to encourage our younger generation to participate. So that's definitely like my goal throughout my college career is like, hey, if I can do it, all of you guys can do it too. So,
Yeah. So I'm in San Diego, so we're one of the spoiled states where we have a lot of pro women's soccer right now.
yeah.
So we got the Wave and LA and the Bay Area Bay FC's coming up. So we've got a little bit of a stronghold here, which is good for us, and hopefully in the future with the other league kind of coming up too, that the love kind of gets spread across. You said kind of something you want to be a part of is having the younger girls see it and be it kind of thing. And I think it's super powerful because my daughter's 5 and she loves playing soccer, and we go to a lot of like women's basketball games too. And she's so accustomed now to being in that environment where I had asked her like, "Do you want to go to the football game?" And she's like, "Is that boys?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I don't want to go." So we're like really trying to put her in there that the if you see it, you can be it kind of environment, and just put her
Yeah.
in as many things as possible and just be involved in the game. So that'll be really cool. And just like my own personal advice is that, like, as you grow as a player at Oklahoma, that those little girls are gonna like you'll change some little girl's life for sure with even just like this smidge of attention that you guys can give. So hopefully you continue on that. Well, before we kind of get to the end here, it is the first season coming up. Do you have any personal goals in your soccer this year, and maybe some overarching things that you want to accomplish in the next 4 or 5?
I think definitely just for the immediate right now, I think just, my last club season wasn't my best. The coach didn't really like my style of play, so I didn't really get the minutes that I wanted. But I think just going out and just reestablishing like, this is my game. I'm here for a reason. If people don't think I should be here, that's too bad. Watch me do it. I think I just want to go out and like be myself, play like my authentic self, and just be like, I want people to be like, oh, Kylie? I don't want to play against her. And I think also is just growing OU soccer with my teammates. I think our school especially has had like a really long journey with coaches and things like that, and I think we have really strong potential to really do something. And so I'm excited to see how we develop as a team throughout these next 4 to 5 years. That's what I'm mainly excited about, but I'm also excited to be just do it. I've waited so long to do this. I just can't wait to just start.
Yeah.
All the practice is making me stir crazy. I'm like, put me in, ready.
I know you'll be ready. Well, and you're at a just talking about like the size and success of other Oklahoma sports, are you excited to be in that environment for anything else. Obviously, like, football, and you guys do have like the best softball of all time at Oklahoma. So there's a lot going on. Are you excited about anything in particular, of just now you're there and ready to go?
Absolutely. So if I was born a man, I would probably play tackle football. Absolutely. I think that it is the most fascinating sport ever in my entire life. I'm a huge Oklahoma football fan. I can spitball facts off my brain. But so definitely excited to watch the football team, but I feel like that's kind of like obvious, like, okay, who isn't? I've already been to a gymnastics meet. I didn't really understand how the scoring was,
It
and
seems
like
crazy.
there were teams in like red leotards, but they were different. And me and my friends were like, "Oh, we have two different leotards on." So we asked someone. They were like, "No, that's the two different teams." So once I understand the rules to gymnastics, super excited because they're also incredible. I think they're three-peat in softball. Oh my! If I ever saw Patty Gasso on campus, I'd be like, excuse me, may I please have a picture with you? But
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. I'm
I
sure of it.
I think Oklahoma is a really good place for women athletics in general. I think it's our turn to step up and taste some of the glory that they've been experiencing. So I think just the community here is the main thing. Just getting to know people and being able to be a part of it instead of just a fan from the outside, you know?
Yeah. Well, now, watching all the Oklahoma football, doing all that, just growing up, but now you're in it. Like you're in the gang, and that's like you're a part of it. Our last little send off then, like, who is your favorite Oklahoma football player of all time, and why is it probably Baker Mayfield?
Oh, this is the hardest question ever because if I said Baker Mayfield, I would be so everyone. But yeah, okay. But this is why. Whenever I first started really watching football, it was whenever Baker Mayfield was like coming up and he had just transferred and everyone was like, he's cocky, he's this, like he does too much. But like you have to act like that. He's a walk-on quarterback that, I mean, you have to have a little bit of spunk if you're going to be that guy. And I mean, he's just gutsy. He's not scared to do things. It's planting the I don't know if you follow football, but planting the flag in the middle of the Ohio State field, I was like, oh, that's noise. But if anyone else did it, it would be like, but it was Baker Mayfield, so we were like, okay. Yeah, no, I think he brought a lot of excitement to Oklahoma football, and he was the most fun to watch to me. And I'm so happy he's getting his cred in the NFL now. So
It took a minute, but like, just there are a lot of good, comeback stories in the NFL this last year, but man, that's got to be one of them. He's like, I'm
oh,
not going away. I am that guy. So we're gonna figure this out in Tampa or wherever else. So
yeah,
that's really cool. Well, I appreciate your time so much, Kylie. It's been really fun chatting with you, and I know you'll have some of your own rivalry stuff and some big name schools to hate for the next couple years of your life. But I'm looking forward to catching it on something streaming, and we'll definitely be cheering you guys on, and hopefully you guys make a good mark this year. But we appreciate your time so much.
absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.